the AGM H5 Pro when you have a rave at 8, but you have to go hunt Bigfoot at 9. Certainly a different device for the channel. AGM reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to review this device? It comes out in a couple of weeks. I said, sure, absolutely. I'll take a look at it. And I didn't understand the market for devices like this. But when we talk about the AGM and we talk about the price in a moment, we have to look at it through the same lens that we look at used for the Unihertz devices. This is a very specific customer, a very specific person that needs a device like this, much like somebody that needs a physical keyboard in 2022. So this can't be graded on the same curve as regular consumer level smartphones in 2022. Because $319 on this one, link will be in the description. It is currently a pre-order bonus. You get 10% off of that. But you think about that, it's like, oh geez, $300, I could buy a OnePlus Nord N20. It's like, yeah, you can. But it's not built like this. It doesn't have some of the features that this does. And if you're somebody who's in the market specifically for a rugged device, this is more what you're going to be looking at. So the more I used it, the more I understood who it was for, the more I kind of grew to like it, which I was not expecting, especially when we consider, you know, I'd say $319. Wait until we hear the price of some of its competitors in this kind of rugged smartphone category a little bit later on. So I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know anything about the user base for it. Like I said, they did have a regular AGM H5. So I looked that up on Amazon, wanted to know kind of what the reviews were and what customers complained about. And the number one complaint that I saw had nothing to do with the build quality, which you can tell is excellent. We're going to talk about the build in a moment. It had to do with lag. They said that the previous one lagged quite a bit. Let me tell you something. Helio, the Helio G85 in this device is quite nice. Is it the snappiest device on the planet? No. Would I go crazy with games on this thing? No. But it's going to do everything that you want it to do in a way that's relatively clean. It's not going to jam up. It's not going to have a bunch of different problems. This is one that I absolutely used and had no issue with. I've been using it for a while now. I've been using it for at least a couple weeks, and I've had no real angry moments with it where I just going through it and said, why is this doing this? Why is it freezing up? Why is it lagging? So that was the main concern for a lot of people on Amazon. So if you had an H5 or you had one of these before and you were worried about lag, that seems to be mostly cleared up. And some of that might have to do with the fact that this now has 8 gigs of RAM, which is quite nice. That, when you put that with Android, when you put that with, pair that with Android 12, you are going to notice quite a bit of an improvement in performance. So let's talk about the build, because that's one of the highlights of this device. Absolutely as rugged and solid as you're going to get. You have the flaps here that have the gaskets for your your micro SD card slot here. So it does have expandable storage, 128 gigs it comes with internally, but you could go ahead and expand that up with a micro SD card. That's quite nice there, but you have the flap here to protect it from water. It is dust rated as well, so you get water resistance, you get dust resistance. It's military tested, the military drop standard and all the rest of it. It says you could drop it multiple times onto hard surfaces from 5 feet, just multiple times. It should be fine, no issues whatsoever, and it absolutely feels that way because it's solid, it's sturdy, it's huge though. It is absolutely a massive device, 6.5-inch display, but just as thick because it has a 7,000 milliamp hour battery. And so it's like carrying around, it's the same weight as carrying around if you were carrying around one of those power banks in your bag. That's the same, but you're carrying it around in your pocket. The flaps here at the bottom does also include a headphone jack, which is quite nice. But you could see the fingerprint sensor here, but the giant speaker on the back, but also these cameras. So let's start with the speaker. The speaker is fantastic. That's one of the selling points of this device. Also, we'll turn on the LEDs that we have here around the speaker. That was kind of the rave portion before. They call it the dynamic LED circle. So we'll go ahead and put on Spectrum, and you can see it. Oh, hold on. Do dance. It's not going to work for me? Cycle. There we go. And you could go ahead and see it. That goes on when you're receiving a phone call, but also when you're playing music, that kind of lights up and goes. But that speaker is huge, and it's not for show. It gets absolutely plenty loud. And one of the highlights is if you're in construction or if you're working outdoors, you're on the job site, whatever it happens to be. My wife was saying, oh, geez, I can hear that over anything. It gets loud, but also doesn't distort. So if during the day you're working, like I said, on the job site, you're outdoors, you can have this all the way up. The music will sound good. Your radio will sound good. Listen to the ball game, whatever it happens to be, on this. You don't have to worry about it. That battery is huge. If you have it with the screen off and you're just playing your music, it's going to last you the entire day. It's like having a Bluetooth portable speaker, but it's the phone itself. Massive, loud, but what I like is that it doesn't distort. The music, actually, the quality was surprisingly good out of the speaker that side, because a lot of devices can get loud. A lot of phones can get loud, but you're getting loud at the same time as having a quality music experience is quite good. Screen, it's 720p. It's not good. The colors are okay-ish. They're a little washed out, but it's big and large, and it has big icons. 720p at 6.5 inches. You're going to notice that it's 720p, but at the same time, I think that's the point. You know, you think about who's using this. If you're using it outdoors on a job site, you're camping, you want big icons. You want a big, setup display with everything, so you can type on it, see everything, and go ahead and point and choose what you need on the display. So no issues there. It's not really meant to have a high quality display. YouTube doesn't look bad on it. You know, I was watching a little bit of YouTube last night. It certainly sounds good on it, so there's no issues there. But it's not the highlight of the device. That's not where they put the $319. Didn't go into the screen, went to the speaker, went to the build quality, went to the battery, which is absolutely massive. It has the programmable key on the side here, which, in addition to having it just linked to your camera or your flashlight, which is fine, those are standard stuff, you could also have, if your carrier supports it, push to talk on here. So if you have a bunch of these, if you're a larger company, if you have to get in contact with your workers and you just want these devices, that'll absolutely work. You just kind of go ahead, push to talk, and communicate with whoever you have to communicate with, which I do like that feature, especially on these rugged devices, because they understand who it's for. One of the other main highlights, we'll show it here, the night vision camera. It works. It's not the highest refresh rate in the world when you're absolutely using it, but it works. This is a pitch black environment, very late at night. I was able to see everything. This has multiple different uses that I could think of. If you get to a job site early, if you're working in the dark and you're in an attic of a home that doesn't have any windows, if you're HVAC, whatever it happens to be, you're in a basement somewhere, this could get you out of a jam, or at least get you to the point where you can see what you're doing. It works. It really works. It's fantastic. It's a 20 megapixel Sony night vision sensor, so it's something that it just adds that extra little bonus, especially if you're somebody who camps, hikes, you're out in the woods. You can kind of see what's in front of you. You don't have to use it for the video functionality or the picture taking functionality. You could just use it as night vision glasses. You could go ahead, point this forward, whether you're hiking at night or you're camping, you're looking around the campsite, making sure there's no animals there, whatever it happens to be, this could actually absolutely be useful and help you. And the fact that it works really well is definitely an added bonus. So $319, you're getting that night vision for people who need it. And again, you're not comparing it to a regular cell phone. You're somebody, if you need it, then you know you need it. And it's something that's absolutely nice to have, whether you're on a job site, you're trying to fumble, find the generator. You know, I don't know these things. I don't work construction. But I'm sure there's been instances where something like this could either add to the level of safety or add to the ease of use of getting the job done, especially if you're out in the woods at night. This is something that I believe would be invaluable, to be able to see around your campsite, see around your environment, and make sure that you are staying safe. So you think $319 for something like this that you can't really consider a regular smartphone. The Cat phone, that's meant to be the rugged smartphone, is sold through T-Mobile. This works fine on T-Mobile, by the way. 4G, I'm getting voice over Wi-Fi, no issues there. The Cat phone is $500 new. $500. And it has 4 gigs of RAM, bunch of complaints about it. And if you're buying multiples of those, let's say your company has 5 employees and you want to go ahead and buy this, you're saving, go ahead and do the calculation, like it's close to $1,000 just off the bat buying the devices. And I think you're getting a better experience with the 8 gigs of RAM. You get that speaker on the back that's designed to help, you know, just a quality of life thing. If you're out working on the job, you want your music, you want to listen to what you're listening to, you want to be able to hear it outdoors without having to connect another Bluetooth speaker, you're lugging more stuff with you. If you have to lug a rugged phone with you, you might as well have an all-in-one package here, which is quite nice. It also comes, you see these pins on the back here. You could get a dock, I believe it's $50. You can set it up on the dock, use it so it's charged. You can have them set up as walkie-talkies all across, so they're always charged all the time, or you're using your music and you're not burning through the battery. Overall, I think there's a lot of uses here. I think there's a lot of uses here. I was pleasantly surprised. You know, a bunch of people said, oh, it's going to have bloatware. It's got no bloatware on here. Stuff from AT&T has more bloatware than this. I think these companies that made kind of generic versions of Android, generic distributions of Android, learned that bloatware just slows stuff down. It gets people to complain about your product. So nothing like that here. Overall, nice experience. Like I said, is the screen the best? No. Are the creature comforts that you usually get with regular consumer devices the best? No. But it's not meant for regular consumers. It's meant for people who go outdoors, camp a lot, you're working outdoors, you're in construction, you know you need something that could hold up to a little abuse, but also give you the functionality you need in the field. If you have any questions about it, let me know in the comment section below. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.